Alrighty, so I'm not a blogger, so this is the first time I've ever done this, and I think this is just something that's important enough to explain. Um, so the whole purpose of this is to explain why the DIY is so crucial to the El Paso skate scene. It's just something that has been coming for years. It's really the next step in the progression and the growth of our scene. Um, this is something that I've been personally wanting to do for years. Now it's finally started to happen. Now it's actually coming to fruition or whatever. So like, um, it's really important, I think, to understand that this is completely a community driven project. Everything about this is all community funded, community organized. Um, it's just a group of skaters that are just doing it for the love of skateboarding. There's really nothing else to this. Where we see it as a community art project. That's really the importance of this, is that this is supposed to be a completely community funded, community organized project. It's no different than someone creating a sculpture, or a group of people creating murals, or something of that sort. So first of all, I want to give a little bit of a background of how this has all come to be, and the progression that's led to this. Um, I guess I'll give a history of just what a DIY skate park is in general. A DIY skate park means just do it yourself. That's what the DIY stands for. Just as any other DIY project would be. So this started originally. The first one that is really credited for this is this bridge in Portland, Oregon. It's called the Burnside Bridge. There were a bunch of people, just doing drugs down there. The scene was not good. A lot of homeless people, a lot of people in tents. There were major problems. And a couple skaters went down there and started pouring concrete against this embankment, and they started skating it, and it developed, and basically it turned out to be a really good thing. It pushed all the drug addicts out, and it really actually like grew this scene around the skateboarding, and the skaters actually kind of regulated, kept the drugs out, organized, and like created something that was actually really cool. And it drew a lot of people, a lot of skaters from all over the world to come to Portland, and really, it was a good thing. And even though it did end up as a good thing, the city had a lot of battles with the skaters, and it started pretty rough. And ever since then, this has sparked this movement that changed skateboarding forever. And these guys really not only did people start to do this everywhere around the world. I mean, there's FDR Bridge in Philadelphia. It has a huge amount of space, and they're still building to this day. They're adding on all the time. And their scene was probably maybe even more hardcore than the scene in Portland, the scene in Burnside. But this really started not only this DIY skate park movement throughout the world, it also started, companies to spark, and a couple companies came from Burnside, and companies are still creating, they're still coming up and starting to this day. There's recent companies like Spawn Ranch and New Line and Evergreen. All these guys are just starting, and they're making amazing parks. And this has really changed skateboarding forever. Ever since Burnside started in the 90s, the early 90s, this has created a change, because everyone remembers the vert skating in the 90s, and the street skating and all that stuff. And I think cities were really kind of tired of the street skaters getting arrested, getting in fights with cops, or kids getting arrested by cops, and police brutality happening to kids, and weird things were happening. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good thing. So the cities were looking for a solution like this, like companies to come in and build a safe, skatable area that the kids can go. They can grind on the ledges. They can do whatever, and it's not going to be a problem. It's made for that. So really, Burnside was completed in 1990. So in my opinion, we are about 30 years behind in our scene, in the El Paso scene, as compared to them. It's not, that's a little bit harsh and a little bit cut and dry, because we have had some major stuff happen that is the reason that El Paso skate scene is so incredible. Our scene is definitely sought after, like internationally. Like, people come here because we have some of the most unique ditches in the world, and this is all really is owed credit to the EPSA, the El Paso Skatepark Association. I mean, it's without, people like Paul Zimmerman and Jaime Favela and Bill Robertson. Those guys really, like, they laid the foundation. They did a lot. They did stuff that has really created this scene that we have today. Like, the reason that these pros come here and they're shooting magazine ads and they're shooting video clips and all this stuff at our spots is because we have some of the first skatable drainage in the entire world. We have, just naturally, we have ditch features because of the mountain and because of, we're in the desert. We have these ditch features that are incredible. I mean, skateboarding even in the 80s and 90s people were coming here still even then because we had these ditches that were crazy. Like the Tidy Bowl was, we're actually very lucky. We're blessed because there's many places in the world that don't have the concrete ditches that we do. And Albuquerque's the same. They have they have probably more ditches than many other places in the world as well. But really all this all leads to is that for us to really, I think, push it to the next level, and for the skateboarding scene to really, the community to collaborate and everybody to truly come together, street skaters, transition skaters, park skaters, whatever, is we're going to build something together, like a community project that can be everyone's. And that's the importance of this. That's the main importance. And for us to understand and learn the skills that it takes to actually create something this big, and really, what does it take to collaborate and make a full-size skate park? Like, how much concrete, how much material, how much man-hour? These are all things that are, very crucial to know, very crucial to understand and experience firsthand, to get this, to make this happen. And there's aspects of having the bridge park that are better than the parks that we have already. I mean, for one thing, when it's 110 degrees outside, in our brutal El Paso summers, our desert summers, it's dangerous to be out in the parks, and none of the parks really have that much shading. None of them are covered. We don't have any indoor parks. So, when all the 6 or 7 parks that we have, they're all amazing, you know what I mean? We're blessed to have them, but they're all empty in the middle of the day. And when you go under this bridge in the middle of the summer, it's 20 degrees cooler. So, I mean, this is something that's crucial. And also, in the middle of the day, or I mean, sorry, not in the middle of the day, whenever a storm comes through, it's about to rain, we've been under there and it's raining right there on the street. It's, pouring hard as can be, and under the bridge it's completely dry. And all the other parks would be puddling up and having major problems, and we'd have to go in there and take hours to clean them, and once it stops raining and stuff. But under there we can skate while it's even raining. Like, that would be the spot to go. But even more important than that is just the community aspect of it, and like teaching these kids a skill, like how to lay concrete, how to plan, how to design, because my original background has always been in art and design, and I have a lot of carpentry experience. We always were building wooden ramps, for the past decade or so. I've built quite a few projects, and then I learned really concrete work once the dudes from Grindline came in and built the Mountain View skate park here. I just volunteered and learned, and then there's been other other backyard projects and other things that have come about, and like things that we've tried. We've tried stuff here on our property where I've had a bunch of ramps and things for just for anybody who doesn't know my background or know the history of things that have happened. And all this has built up the El Paso scene and led to different stuff, and And really, I want all of the street skaters and all of the tranny skaters, all of the park skaters, everyone to have some sort of input on this DIY project. Like this is meant to be everyone's project. That's why we're doing it in central El Paso. You know, even for, you know, the people from Mexico, anyone who lives in Mexico, come through. You know, we want you guys to come. We want everyone to be there. We even have kids over there working. We've got, you know, women coming through. We need everybody's support. We really, this is supposed to be for everybody and by everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's supposed to be everyone's input, everyone's skill involved, everyone's, you know, man hours, everyone's monetary funds, you know, everything. It's all completely community driven, and we really want the city to approve this because we don't have any sort of approval from the city. This is all just completely do it yourself, rogue. You know, like, this is not, we don't own any licensing or anything like that, you know, and we're looking to get that. We would like to get licensed, bonded, insured, you know, be able to continue this project, maybe even have some sort of support or funding from the city, and really push on, because we know what to do and how to design it and what we're doing as far as the concrete goes. We just don't have the basics, you know. But that this has been an issue with every DIY spot that's ever come about in any city, and there's DIY spots around the world. You know, some of them get torn out for this reason, some of them don't. Hopefully the city will see that, you know, all that's really going on under this bridge is drug use. There's homeless people sleeping under there. People go and dump trash under here. I've seen people drop couches off, and refrigerators, furniture, whatever. I've seen all kinds of weird things happen already, and we've only been down there for a couple months. So there's ways around that too. There's ways that we can take some of that trash and turn it into obstacles for skating by using it as filler, that where you put, say, a refrigerator or a couch, and then you put dirt over it, and you lay a shell of concrete over this, you know, this piece of trash or whatever, and you bury it, and it's there, it's done, you know what I mean? So it's being used as a filler instead of it just being a completely useless piece of trash that then the city has to remove. You know, we're in a position where we can actually kind of push some of this bad behavior out. You know, it's kind of dead space, and we can turn this dead space into something positive and really make it into something that's important, you know, and something that's going to matter. And I just want everyone to, you know, anyone who doesn't really understand what we're doing or what's happening under there, we are trying to build a skate park, just us, the skaters, in the community, and that's it. You know, anyone who wants to be involved, we're trying to get artists to do murals. If anyone has any other creative ideas, that would be great too. You know, anything where we can get more people from the city involved, or, you know, just throughout the area, throughout the region. We want anyone to be involved who wants to, you know, like, let's get this going. I don't know, as far as the timeline goes for this, I'd say we probably, the amount of space that we have to work with is massive. We've covered maybe about, I want to say, like 400 square feet maybe of concrete, about 4 inches thick of concrete all the way around. It's all reinforced. I would say, you know, it's about a half a football field at least on each side of the bridge, because there's 2 sides of the bridge and the train tracks and the ditch runs through. And also, that's another aspect of this spot, is this is already a famous skate spot because of that ditch that runs through. That's the reason the bridge goes over, is because the train tracks and the ditch run through the bridge, you know, and they had to make a bridge to go over it. But that bridge has this unique like transition. It's called an oververt in skateboarding. It's a vertical, you know, transition, and these guys come through and skate it, and it's been in magazines, it's been in videos. So the pros are already going down there to the spot. So once they see what's going on, it kind of like changes the way that they will even like respect and approach our city. They're going to be, or, you know, just our scene in El Paso in general. They're going to be like, wow, these guys are, you know, they're stepping it up. This is the next level. Because this has happened in every other major city throughout the US at least, and many other major cities throughout the world. So, you know, all of those guys are already that much further ahead of us. Like, they already know the struggles of, you know, getting spots torn out and going out there getting, you know, charges or fines for doing this on public property, or, you know, that it's a very hard process. This is an uphill battle in general, and the more people involved, the less weight it takes off, you know, the ones of us who are doing this. And the thing is that once, you know, everything that we make is going to be stuff that we want to make, and stuff that anybody who has input is going to say, yo dude, yeah, like, we should do this, or we should do that, or, you know, this or that. And we just have to work with that, you know, we just have to keep going. So we'll see how it goes, and we've already had great progress. I really thank you so much to everyone who's come through. Thank you for all the support. Like, you guys, it's been incredible. In 2 months we've done a lot. So let's keep pushing forward. If you guys have any ideas, reach out to me. If you guys have any questions or anything, or you guys want to, you know, anyone who hasn't helped, if you want to know how to help us, like with the GoFundMe link or things like that, I'll put that like on the video, or I'll probably make this a YouTube video and then share it from there. So yeah, I'll probably put the link below. And if you guys have any other ideas, like, the ideas are really crucial, because, you know, certain people will see things like, or will see an area and say, oh, we should have this here, and, you know, someone else might say, oh, we should have this or this. And the more ideas that come through, the better. Let's get everybody's stuff. If you have an idea, let's try to build it, you know what I'm saying? So thank you guys, let's keep this going.